All right, this time we are playing something new. Well, the game's not new. It's been around for a few years, maybe longer. And I've put a few hundred hours into this game already. But yeah, I'm gonna play some RimWorld. There is DLC for RimWorld. I don't have any of the DLC. If I were to get one, it would be the biotech DLC. In RimWorld, your characters, you're like, it's a space colony simulator kind of thing with similar graphics to Prison Architect. So like very cartoony 2D characters, and then you kind of like specify things that need to get done, and then the people who are assigned to those types of tasks will do them and there's like different priority orders that you can do so that they you try to like set up the AI to be successful, so that you can micromanage as little as possible. It's kind of the old game. Like you micromanage kind of more of a big picture instead of individually telling people you do this specific thing. But so in RimWorld, you create this space colony, and the thing is, you can't the base game, your people can't make babies, so the way you grow the size of your colony is from capturing people who attack you and then like converting them to be part of your colony, or you can buy slaves in the game, and there might be some other way that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, but basically your ability to increase the size of your colony is pretty limited because of that. Whereas with the biotech DLC, you have extra options for being able to create more people for your colony. So that's why I would get that DLC if any of them. But for now, we're just going to play base RimWorld. So if you haven't played RimWorld before, don't worry, I'm going to talk you through how to play. We're not doing the tutorial, we're just going to go straight into a new colony. And if it's your first time playing, you probably would do the crash landed experience. Now they start you off with a bunch of stuff that you probably wouldn't have if you crash landed, such as a whole bunch of silver, which is your money, and a whole bunch of steel and wood, which you use for building stuff. So it's kind of an unrealistic scenario. You can create your own custom scenarios though. You just go to the scenario editor. You can either randomize them, and there'll be a bunch of random shit in here, or you can go to edit mode and actually specify how like what all you start with and stuff. So since I don't like the default scenarios starting stuff, like it's definitely useful starting stuff, but I'd rather have a more realistic crash landing scenario. So I've created my own where you start off with a bunch of food, some sleeping bags, some medicine, some clothes, steel breach axe is just supposed to be like a fireman's axe kind of thing, you know. It's for whatever reason they decided to make it very terrible as an actual weapon. So this isn't very useful, but it's just kind of in there for the RP. And then I put a pistol in there. So this is like a normal modern kind of pistol. The default scenario starts you off with a revolver and a bolt action rifle and a knife. But my sort of idea is, well, each escape pod's gonna have a breach axe and maybe an auto pistol. As opposed to this one where it's like, it's not really set up for like each escape pod has a certain amount of stuff. So that's what I have going on here. So yeah, it's a little bit different from the default scenario, but that's what we're gonna start with. You can start with more than 3 people if you want. I've been playing this 6-person one, but let's just do a 3-person one. It's going to be a little bit simpler. Now, the AI storyteller in RimWorld is kind of the meta AI that determines what kind of negative and positive events happen as far as like when enemies attack you and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend you start on Cassandra Classic. That's the top one. And if it's your first time playing, Adventure Story will have some enemies that attack you and stuff. It's very easy though. So we're gonna go a little bit harder. Strive to Survive's a really good difficulty. The AI kind of I should have also mentioned that. So the AI, like it throws stuff at you, which as far as I understand is based on how strong your colony is. So it kind of doesn't matter what your starting stuff is, because the game will give you challenges based on how much stuff you have. So if you start your game with a bunch of machine guns and stuff, then I think the game sends more enemies at you and stuff like that, or more better equipped enemies. I think that's how it works. So yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna strive to survive, and we're gonna do commitment mode. Reload anytime mode is just kind of your typical game where you quick save often, and then if somebody dies and you load it and you're trying to have this perfect colony, but I hate that play style. I'd rather just, if somebody dies, well shit, it happened. We can't change it now. So we're going with commitment mode, and yeah. Alright, so you're gonna generate a world. You can randomize the seed if you want. I think the default that it starts with is randomized anyways. And then I don't like the default globe coverage is 30%. And what it does is it only puts one continent basically on the planet. And then the other 70% of the planet is just water. I feel like that looks really stupid. So we're just going 100% globe coverage. It's not going to be 100% land. There's still going to be water. But it's just going to be land like all around the globe. It's going to look a lot more like Earth, basically. Probably more land than Earth, but Yeah. But yeah, the world is really big. You're not gonna like actually go explore all of it per se. But yeah. And then there's all these factions here. So the factions are, just leave them as default. Some of them start off neutral and you can trade with them. So I think it's the purple and the yellow one, you can trade with them at the start, and everybody else is hostile. And some of them are permanently hostile, and other ones you can like improve your relations with them to the point that you can trade with them. And also if you get them really happy, then they can they'll be like allies that'll sometimes help you and stuff. So pretty cool. The mechanoids and the insects are a huge pain in the ass when you end up fighting those guys. But those don't come in till kind of later in the game, because they're really tough enemies. So we'll just leave that stuff all as default, except like I said, globe coverage 100%, and it's gonna spend time generating this globe. Gonna have a whole bunch of random biomes on it. So there's gonna be like deserts and forests and stuff like that. Obviously it takes a little longer when you have it generating on 100%. So like I said, this is what they call 100%. As you can see, there's still water. There's definitely a lot of land. I really wish there was more like a 80% or something. But it's like 30%, 50%, 100%. So this is what we got. So what we're doing here is we're selecting where we're gonna crash land, but realistically you don't select where you're gonna crash land. So I'm just gonna click select random site, and so that's gonna be this little thing. The world's a whole grid of hexes, which as you can see are fairly small hexes. So the world is very big. Not as big as like actual Earth or anything, but it's very big. And you can also look at the faction stuff again and be like, okay, this blue guy here is fairly close to me. He's currently hostile. But I don't think they attack you in particular based on what settlements are near you. So it it doesn't really matter too much that you're this close to them. I think the game tells you if you're within like 4 squares of a base, then they are going to be more hostile to you because you're like encroaching on their territory. But we are more than 4 squares away, so we won't have that problem. But if you wanted a better starting site, you'd find a spot that's near some purple and yellow guys so that you could trade with them early in the game. So this is gonna be fine though. We can land here, and we can also like march. Say if we wanted to march over to this area to be closer to this yellow guy, before we actually build our settlement, build our colony, we could do that. And there's also some advanced options for how big you want the individual maps to be. The default size is pretty big. You can definitely go bigger. I wouldn't go smaller unless your computer's having a trouble running the game. It's mostly, I think, a pathfinding kind of thing for if the map's really big, and then you get later in the game when there's lots of people, then it's more difficult for the game to calculate movement. I think it'll use more CPU, but otherwise I don't think a large map really matters. It's just like if you build your town in the center of the map, then on a larger map, when enemies come onto the map, they're always at the edge of the map. Well, almost always at the edge of the map. So it's you kind of have more heads up on a larger map. But let's just leave it at it's auto. Starting season is going to be auto. I think it generally always starts you in summer. And you can see... Whoops, I clicked off of the one that we were at, which was down here somewhere. Well, you can see in the info down here, like what the temperatures are, and you could also click the eye here for explanation of the different biomes. So deserts versus forests and stuff. If you go to the tundra or the ice sheet, like you get very cold temperatures where your people will die pretty quickly if you can't keep them warm. Or sometimes, like, if you randomly start off somewhere that's really cold, you may want to march to somewhere that's warmer before you build your settlement. But also, there's like no trees on the ice sheet, and there's very few trees in the tundra. So it's not it's the tundra is very hard to live in. The ice sheet's basically impossible to live in at the start of the game unless you have like extra starting resources. So yeah. Let's just select our random site again. Alright, we're gonna be in the desert apparently. We'll see what that looks like, and then if it doesn't look good, we'll march over to the nearby forest or something. Alright, so now we are choosing which characters are going to get to the escape pods and survive in their world. So we can choose 3 people out of the total of 8 here. Or if you change to your custom scenario stuff, you can start with a different number of people, or maybe you don't even choose at all, you just get them all. You can also change the actual person here if you want, but that's not really that's kind of anti-RP, so I'm not gonna change the people at all. I'm just gonna select some people. So each person's got different stats as what they're good at. The team skills down here is from the selected people, what's the highest in each category. And also you generally want people with at least one little fire icon thing here. That means that they're interested in that category. So one fire icon means they learn at 100% speed. If they have no fire icon, that means they learn that skill from doing it at 35% speed. So they're very slow to learn if they're not interested in the activity. And then the 2 fire thing is like 150% speed learning. So but yeah, you want basically kind of some of everything in general, but depending on where you land, some things will be less important than others. So since we're only choosing 3 people, it'll be very difficult for us to get a group of people that is good at everything. But we'll look at what we got. So so early on, artistic isn't very useful. So we're not really gonna care about that. It's very good to have a medic because when you're healing people's injuries, if you don't have someone that's good as a medic, then actually, let me just start from the top here. So shooting, if you have guns or bows, your people will be more accurate at shooting. So you want this for hunting and also for killing people that attack you. Melee is for melee weapons, and you can't hunt per se with melee weapons. You can have your guys manually walk up to an animal and like stab it with a knife if you have a knife equipped. But melee you won't really use much except when other people attack you, and in those cases it's only really when the enemy has somebody with like a dagger or something that they run at you with. Later in the game, pretty much everybody's got guns and melee isn't a very useful skill, but early on a lot of the enemies will attack you with daggers and stuff, so melee can be a useful skill, but generally I think shooting's way better. Construction is for building all your buildings, and you can also build if you build like chairs and tables and stuff, that's done with your construction skill. So you it's very useful to have someone good at construction. Mining can be important depending on the map you're on. So mining is if you start in an area with like lots of hills, then the map's only 2D, but you can like dig into the hills and get you can either like build your base in the hills, like in caves basically, and tunnels, but also you can mine rare resources. So you'll find like gold and stuff, but it'll take a lot longer if you don't have anyone good at mining. So mining's kind of a lower priority skill. Cooking is kind of important in that if someone's bad at cooking, there's a higher chance of food poisoning. So it's definitely good to have somebody that's good at cooking. Plants is your skill for growing crops. So and it's also like a speed well, it's primarily a speed thing, so you can plant crops faster and harvest them faster, and also chop down trees. So most of the time you want someone with a good plant skill, even if you're in an area like if you're in the tundra or something where it's too cold to grow plants most of the year. You can only get like a finite amount of food out of hunting. More animals will show up to the map sometimes, but you generally have to do some kind of planting to grow food in this game. So that's very I'd definitely recommend you try to get someone with good plant skill. Animal skill is very nice, that you can domesticate animals. You like tame them, and so you can tame horses and cows and bison and whatever, which you can do a bunch of different things with. Some of them grow fur, like alpacas. You can tame alpacas, and then that's based on your animal skill. And then you can they grow wool that you can periodically cut, and then you weave them into clothes and stuff. So so animal skill is definitely useful, but when you're starting off the game, you don't really want to prioritize this, because you really gotta worry first about getting a reliable food source and shelter kind of stuff. So you really want to start off doing more of plants to cut trees so that you get a bunch of wood so that you can build buildings, and also plants so that you can grow a bunch of rice or potatoes. Well, usually you start off with rice. Rice grows the fastest of all the food generating plants that you can do. So but then you can move on to potatoes and corn. So yeah, animals low priority. Crafting is very good later in the game to craft whatchamacallit, any kind of weapons or clothes. So that's alright. Artistic is for creating art items, which you like put on the ground, and then they just make the area more beautiful. Your people are like happier when they see beautiful stuff. So this is another one of those things that's more important later in the game, but not early game. Medical, I think I already explained. You just want maybe I didn't explain it. So when your people get injured, you want somebody who's good at medical, so they patch up the injuries quicker, because a lot of your injuries, people will be like bleeding out. So you want someone that can do it quickly, but also they can do it more effectively. There's a effectiveness, kind of semi-random chance based on your medical skill, where it helps them heal faster if it's done by somebody with a good medical skill. So very good to have. Social is what you use for convincing somebody that you've captured to join your colony. So that's useful, but not really key to your survival early game. And then intellectual is for social, also affects how good of a trade price you can get for items when you're trading. So yeah, social's pretty valuable, but more towards the mid game, not really early game. And then intellectual is for researching primarily. So you research additional technologies so that you can build better and better things. So, for example, to start off with, we can build a short bow, but we need to do a research if we want to build a better bow, and then there's a better bow after that. So that takes intellectual makes your research goes faster if it's done by somebody with a good amount of that skill. So it's not critical for your survival early on, but it's very important for the sort of the growth of your colony. So yeah, they don't have all of these skills down here in the team skills. Out of these, I would say mining is the least useful one. Unless you are specifically going to an area where you need to do a lot of mining. So we go back to the map. These areas here with all these little brown things, these are hills, which means that there's going to be a lot of mining you have to do to make more space for yourself. So yeah, if you're gonna go to one of those areas, then you do need you'll get a lot more value out of somebody with a mining skill. But anyways, we've only got 3 people that we can choose, so there's kind of limited on our ability to get some of everything. But kind of just look at who's got lots of good stuff. You also should consider some of these traits and what people are incapable of. So let's find one that we don't really want. Yeah, there's not. So there's one that's really bad, which is incapable of dumb labor. That's one you definitely don't want to start off the game with, at least when you have only 3 people. But for example, this guy's incapable of intellectual or crafting. That means not only do they have no skill at those things, but they literally are not able to do those things in the game. So sometimes you'll see like incapable of violence. That means they literally can't shoot or attack people or help defend your colony. So it's like there's some things that are very, very important. So this one's like being good at shooting is great, but this person does not really have enough skills otherwise to really make this 3-person colony work very well. So we're gonna get rid of this person. I think we're gonna get rid of this person also. Let's see. So this guy has medical skills, intellectual skills. That's all right. We really want to get somebody with construction and plant skills, though. So yeah, I think we want this person. Let's prioritize that person at the top. See what this person's got. Shooting, intellectual. They have some medical skills, but they're not interested in medical, so they'll learn it very slowly. That's not very ideal. I do like that they have better shooting skills and social skills, but I don't know. We really need construction and plants. That's pretty important. So let's see what we can get for that. Let's see. Is there anyone good at construction? None of these people are good at construction. Is anyone good at plants? This person's good at plants and animals and crafting. I think we're gonna go with this guy. And then which of these guys do I want? I think we're gonna get rid of this guy. Okay, this guy in here. Well, let's look at all these again. So medical, yeah. Gonna be between these two, I think. And yeah, sucks. We have no one good at cooking either. We just kind of had some bad luck with the starting people, I guess. Yeah, we'll leave this guy on here. Yeah, tough decisions. That's what I like about the 6-person start out of 8. Is that you only really are choosing 2 people to not be in your colony. As opposed to this, there's so many more things to look at to try to optimize your survivors. So, obviously, this took a bit longer than we'd like, but this is how we're doing it. So before you get started, you're gonna want to go in the options, and I recommend strongly that you change a couple things in here. One is put pause on load, especially if you're doing a commitment mode like I am doing here. So if you load the game, it doesn't automatically start going. It'll pause it for you. So you can give yourself a minute to like look around a bit and remind yourself what was going on when you load. Because if you like quit and you were like in the middle of combat or something, and then you load the game some other day and it automatically starts playing, it could really give you trouble. Yeah, pause on load, and also pause on letter, any letter. We'll see what these letters are later. It's a little pop-up thing that tells you what like some major thing happened. And did we land in the desert? We can click down here to the world to look at the world again. Yeah, we landed in the desert here. And as you can see, there's not much in the way of trees to chop down out here in the desert so that we can get wood. You can cut down these cactuses, but that's basically it. So it's kind of rough as far as being able to build buildings goes. As far as wildlife goes, you can see there's a bunch of wildlife which you could hunt for food. I'm not sure how good it would be to whatchamacallit, to try to do plant crops out here. If we go back to the world, click this arrow down here, look at the desert. This button. You can see it says growing period year round, and you can look at the temperatures. So it's actually fairly consistent, pretty good temperatures. So you could probably grow crops out here pretty well. Where am I? Where this one? We could do that, or we could move down here to the forest. I think we'll just see how we do in the desert. Wait. Actually, well, let's just land here. Let's get these people some clothes. We're gonna allow, you gotta click these things and click allow so that they can interact with them. Alright, so in a second here, these people should put on some clothes, except I think one of them was a nudist, so he might not put on clothes. But for equipping weapons, you gotta manually equip them weapons. So, just right click, equip the gun, and he'll do that. Let's see. This person's better at melee, but the gun's generally more useful than the stupid axe. So we're gonna do that. And this person's not good at that. So let's do this. Yeah, they have, you click the health tab here, they have a crypto sleep sickness. So they're gonna be doing a little bit of vomiting. And they should be putting on clothes automatically, but I don't know. They'll get there soon enough. So click on the work tab down here. This is what each person's gonna do. You definitely want to go to manual priorities. If you don't, it'll just do it from left to right for each person. But sometimes you want somebody to do something on the right before they do the thing on the left. So a lower number will be done before a higher number, but it's still left to right. So if I wanted this person to do art before they mined, I could increase the priority of art, or I could decrease the priority of mining, and then you would change other things around it to get them to do it the way you wanted to. But yeah, let's see, who is our grower? Marco. We're gonna click this little icon down here, toggle fertility overlay, and this is just gonna show us where we can actually plant crops that'll grow. So a lot of this area will not grow crops because it's the desert. So we only want to plant crops in the green areas, basically. So we're gonna go over here to architect zone. We're gonna put a growing zone here. Now, Early game, it's pretty easy to kind of overdo it on your growing zones. Let me cancel that. Delete this zone. So it's pretty easy to overdo it on your growing zones. So what we're gonna look at here is trying to make this line up here. Yeah. So if I make this 10 by 10 growing zone, what happens here is your dude will go here to plant potatoes unless you change this. I recommend changing it to rice. Rice grows the fastest, which means it'll occupy the time of your grower people more, because they spend more time, like, relatively planting and harvesting. But we have a limited number of these packaged survival meals, and then so we want to be able to generate our own food as quickly as possible. So that's why I'm going to start off here planting rice plants. But yeah, so we have, like I said, very limited options for wood. So what we're going to want to do is, generally we aren't going to want to use wood for, man, this is going to be tough. It's probably better. This is definitely doable, but it's probably better if we actually just move to the forest. So let's just do that. We're going to move to the forest. But before we move to the forest, we are going to put these people on construction, and we're going to deconstruct these ship chunks. These ship chunks have useful resources in them. So we're going to go to all these ship chunks on the map, hit the deconstruct button. And I don't remember how many on the map there are. Is it just 3? I guess it's just 3. So we want our people to go deconstruct all of those. And we are going to put a stockpile zone just on top of... Oops. On top of all our starting stuff, so that when they deconstruct these things, they'll bring the resources back here, and then we will march our way over to the forest on the map, so that we are gonna have a little bit easier of a time surviving than here in the desert. But like I said, the desert is doable, but the start will be a lot rougher because of the limited amount of wood, which means you can't really afford to use wood to create buildings. You kind of have to save it for early on. You would basically save it for constructing a campfire to cook your meat that you get and your plants into meals. Also, there's certain things that require some amount of wood. So, like, if you make a simple research bench, it needs some wood. If you can change the base material of the research bench if you get different materials later on. But I think it always requires some amount of wood. So that's an example of you just have to have some amount of wood to do that. So as far as cooking food goes, you can cook a camp. You can make a campfire and cook the food on the campfire. But the campfire will take wood over time. Or you can make a fueled stove, which doesn't take wood up front, but it takes wood to fuel the stove. So that'll still eat wood over time. And then the other thing is you can make an electric stove, and that doesn't use any wood at all. But then you need to power it with electricity. You have to go down here to power, and then you have to use a thing that generates electricity to power that stove to cook your food, which means either you're using a generator that uses wood or this other generator that uses chem fuel, which is like gasoline basically, which we don't have any of that and we won't for a while. Or you can do a wind turbine, or you can also research different a couple other different generators, the watermill generator, the geothermal generator, or where's the other one, solar panel. So you can research one of those, but and those won't take wood, but it'll take you a little while to research those. So yeah, it'd be a very annoying start if you wanted to start off in the desert here. In this scenario, the default scenario starts you with a bunch of wood, so it wouldn't be as much of a problem. But my scenario here, we start with no wood, so the only wood you can get is from cutting down some cactuses. So it's a very, very finite amount of wood that you can get. So it'd be a rough start. So we're just gonna march ourselves over to the whatchamacallit, to the forest nearby, before we actually build our settlement. So, but like I said, first we're deconstructing the ship chunks. These are going to give us some steel and components. I think the default thing starts you off with components. Also, components are required for some of those things I mentioned, like generators and stuff. A lot of the electricity based things. Let's go back to here. Architect protection. So for example, the electric stove requires 2 components. So that's just an example of yeah, we need components. Now, if we started off with somebody who was good at digging, we would also be looking around the map for anything that's really good to dig. For example, this compacted machinery down here. This will give you components when somebody digs at it. So if you had somebody with really good digging skill, that would be a pretty good priority. Silver here is just used for trading, so that's pretty good. More compacted machinery. Some maps you'll also see gold and jade and other rare things. So if you're doing a start like this where you're gonna march yourself off to a different area, definitely a good thing to do is look around the map for anything you want to take before you go. We could also potentially hunt some animals before we left if we wanted to. But we only have 3 people. We can't really carry a lot of stuff. And also, like, if you kill an animal, if you cut it up for meat, then the meat's going to expire after a couple days, unless the weather's really cold. So, if we were in like a more desperate situation type of thing, then we would hunt these animals and then leave. But we don't really need to hunt them. We really just want these components from these ship chunks. So we got that. These people are also going to automatically haul in these small amounts of steel, which, since I don't have anyone that's really good at mining, will be a little bit useful. Because otherwise, your primary way of getting steel is to mine it from compacted steel. So yeah, we're gonna want this little amounts of steel. Although steel is relatively heavy, so it's not like we can carry a lot of it anyways. So once these guys bring this steel back, then we will march ourselves on out of here. Alright, so I'm pausing the game right now. If you go to the world map here, the game will still be running if you don't pause it. So we want to select our place here. We're going to form a caravan, and we can right click here to see how long it takes to get there, or it might be faster to go here. The places on the map with these little roads, you walk faster along the road, but there's hill areas over here, so you walk slower through hill areas. And also, certain biomes you move slower than other biomes, so it's something to consider for where you want to march to. So we can hit accept here, and then we can change route. If we wanted to see, like, if we wanted to march up this way so that we could trade with these purple guys up here, we could right click over here and see, okay, it'll take me 2.91 days to to march up to here. So that's potentially worth it. Just because we'd be closer to some friendly people that we can trade with. Whereas if we look at our factions again, we see the blue guys here that we're next to. Those guys are hostile. And also, I think the green guys are hostile. Yeah, the green guys are also hostile. So down here, we're not really that close to somebody to trade. We'd have to march up here or up here to trade with somebody. So this area might be better. Just because they're closer to each other. Yeah. Let's march over here, actually. That's what I want to do. I don't know an easy way to cancel the route, so we just hit accept and then go back. Change the route. So that'll only take us 1.34 days, and if we want to go a little bit closer, like I said earlier, we don't want to go too close or they'll get mad at you. But we could go to here and it'd be pretty good. So let's do that. Now we have to select everything that's going on our trip, which is all our people. We want basically all our items, except we don't want these stupid rocks and the steel slag chunk. We don't want those. Those are pretty much worthless. Whoops, this should be a 0. They're just really heavy and have almost 0 value. And I always uncheck the travel supplies here. You want to make sure that you are grabbing all your food, all your medicine. Well, later on in the game, you'll have like a town of like 10 people or something. You'll want to create a caravan of like 4 people to send to go trade to the nearby town. But here we're just moving our whole base, so we want all of our stuff basically. But as you can see here, we have a limited carrying capacity based on our people and their health. So even if you could mine a bunch of stuff before you left here, it's very limited as far as what you can carry. If there were like horses or something, you can tame the horse. If you have somebody with good animal skill and the right food to feed the horse, and then having horses and other animals in your caravan will increase the amount that the caravan can carry, and also they speed up the caravan speed. So some things to consider for later, but for now we're just moving our whole base out to here. So we go back to the map here. Our people will grab their sleeping bags, the food, all our stuff, and they'll run off the map. And yeah, we can speed this up. Click the double arrows, or you can click the triple arrows and they go really fast. Let's go back out to the world here. So now the caravan formed and they're on the map, and we can now abandon our city here. Now by default, the game only lets you have one city. Let me pause here. So and basically it's pretty much impossible to manage 2 colonies simultaneously. So it's recommended that you generally just only have one city. But if you want to change that, you can go to the gameplay and change the maximum number of colonies here. It lets you go up to like 5 or something. Obviously this will use more of your CPU because it's like trying to simulate multiple places at the same time. But yeah, it's fine. Our people are gonna walk right past this place, but they don't like actually walk through the individual maps. Like we aren't going to get in a fight with these people even though they're hostile, unless we get like attacked on the road. So you don't gotta worry about that per se. This is one of those letters which, since we changed the settings, auto pause the game, and working faster for the next 8 days is great. It'd be nice if we were at our place already so that we could get full uses out of it, because we're gonna waste like 2 days walking. But it's pretty nice. Let's go here. Not there. I want to go to the bio to Marco, see what's this guy was good at. Okay, he's good at plants. Lance is going to be where we're going to get a lot of value out of that work speed increase. So that'll be nice. Yeah. So on the overworld here, 1 time speed is just like regular speed. 2 times speed is definitely faster. But you'll see the hours count 1 by 1. It's still pretty slow. So when we don't have any colony like this, you might as well just do 3 times speed, and the hours will go by a lot faster, and we'll get to our destination a lot faster as far as like real time is concerned. Usually, as far as a colony goes, you don't want to run in 3 times speed. There's just too many problems that you generally have to be more careful about micromanaging, and also just giving more things for people to do. Wait. Oh, shit. Thought I told them to go all the way to here. Actually, I think it was here. Whoops. I just wasted some food with them just sitting around doing nothing. And some of the, oh my god. That was terrible. So yeah. The caravan was idle. They weren't doing anything. So they were just sitting around eating the stupid food. Damn it. Alright, so we are now in temperate forest, which has good temperatures year-round for growing stuff. As you can see, there's lots of trees. Currently, it's raining quite a lot. And when your stuff is outdoors, and especially when it's raining, it will deteriorate. So I when did I get this wake up drugs? This must have been one of these characters wait, no, I don't think they were carrying it. That's weird. Anyways, yeah. Rain will deteriorate your shit. So you generally want to get all your supplies inside a building as quickly as possible. So we need to first chop down some trees so that we have some wood. We're gonna order chop wood, and we're just gonna chop wood in this little area here. We could also choose to just build like a wall here, and then they would put a roof here, and this whole area would be inside with relatively little effort. But generally, you want to make your base kind of more towards the middle of the map, so that you can go different directions for hunting animals. Instead of starting off here and having to go all the way down here, for example, if we're here, then the travel time to get to something at the edge of the map is more consistent. But yeah, we are going to have the wood chopper person chop down all these trees. Sorry, but we go to the work tab, and we could actually have all of them help on chopping down trees, since there's essentially nothing else to do right now. We actually want this person to prioritize this over construction. These other guys will construct before they grow. But yeah, we have the plant guy's gonna chop trees a lot faster than these other guys, but at least these other guys will be doing something while we get stuff started. We are gonna call our faction whatever this random thing that was, or you can type in your own thing, but we're just gonna be the Asin Pact. Like assassins or something. Alright. And then we're going to put our stockpile zone here. But we're also going to install our bedrolls, our sleeping bags, next to that area so that these guys, once they get tired, they're gonna want to go sleep in the sleeping bags. If you have them deployed, if the sleeping bags aren't deployed, they're just gonna sleep on the ground somewhere. So you want to deploy the sleeping bags. And then now we are going to, like I said, we don't have anyone good at constructing. So there's going to be lots of slow and failed construction stuff, but it's whatever. We're going to start here, building some walls, and we're just trying to get everything indoors quickly. And then we're going to worry about planting food. So we can actually work on creating the zone here right now. We're just in 1x speed. Do not go any faster than 1x speed early game. Except like when people are sleeping. Because you really want to get stuff right. So like I said earlier, or I was saying earlier, you want to start with rice plants because they get you food the soonest. So that you can stop eating your packaged survival meals. Also, while the caravan was traveling, we were harvesting food along the way. These berries and agave fruits. But we really want to get to the point where we are cooking our rice and we can stop eating the packaged survival meals because those are fairly valuable as far as like emergency food goes because they never spoil or anything. So yeah. Oh, sorry. So we're gonna hit F here so the person will finish cutting down the trees before they plant all the rice in the rice field. Well, it stopped raining, which is good. So our stuff isn't deteriorating as quickly as it was. But yeah, we still need these trees chopped down so we can build shelter for our people to sleep in. Now you can build directly on top of these trees here. But when you do that, what happens is the people assigned to constructing will automatically chop down the trees. But those people usually are not the same people who are good at chopping down trees. So usually I manually tell people to chop down trees where my buildings are going to be before I put the construction stuff. We can make our building maybe this big. And then we'll put a door here on the north side right next to our rice paddy area. And that'll be good. How much wood do we got? We got a few hundred wood. That'll be enough for a little bit. But then we'll want them to plant the rice. Now, how much rice plant stuff do you need is a thing to consider. So, if you go to the person here, you can see a person needs 1.6 nutrition per day. This will sometimes change if they get sick or something. But generally 1.6 nutrition per day. So if you wanted to actually calculate how much food fields you need, you can look at a rice plant here. Now, basically all the food stuff, if you go click on any kind of food thing, whether it's meat or berries or vegetable stuff like rice and potatoes, these things are all going to be 0.05 nutrition. So in order to get 1.6 nutrition per day, well, actually, it's going to be more complicated. Basically, the short story, or sorry, the short answer is you can calculate exactly how many rice patties you need. But there are going to be situations where shit goes wrong, or some of your food goes rotten, or whatever, or sometimes you capture an enemy person and then you have to feed them. So you want to definitely have some amount of extras. But yeah, a rice plant will give you 6 rice when it harvests. The growing time is 3 days, but that's like 3 full days of growing, but it only grows during the day. So it's actually going to be about 6 days to grow the full rice plant. So after 6 days, basically, this individual plant is going to give you 6 pieces of rice, which are each 0.05 nutrition. So each individual rice plant is essentially 0.05 nutrition per day. So you probably want to go for more like for a total of about 2 nutrition per person per day. So that would be about 40, I think, 40 rice plants per person, if I'm doing the math right, roughly. But the thing is, when you cook the rice, it's going to take 0.5 nutrition of rice, and it's going to turn it into a simple meal, which gives you 0.9 nutrition. So you actually get almost twice as much nutrition out of cooking the rice as opposed to your people eating the rice raw. So you actually need a lot less rice per person than 20 because of that. And also, if you go hunting animals, there's all this wildlife here in the area. We can see the warg right here. Wargs will attack you sometimes, especially if you attack them. So we're kind of hoping that thing just goes away. Or sometimes the warg will like kill another animal, like a gazelle, and then you can just grab the gazelle corpse and chop it up for food yourself. So we don't have to live entirely on the rice. We can definitely kill some of these other animals to get stuff out of them. But yeah, so I have 48 spots here. Currently that's 16 squares of rice per person. that should be plenty for the starting part here. Now your person can fill up these areas pretty quickly, so it's definitely tempting to build more food areas early game, but it's not important. We really want to get this guy, after he's finished planting the rice here, we want to build stuff for cooking food. So that'll be up to you. Well, also, so we have some amount of starting research based on being new arrivals, I think is what they call it. Whereas if you start as a new tribe, you have different starting research. So in our case, we have knowledge of electricity and stuff. If you start as a tribe, you start off with different things like being able to create these better bows here. And I think pemmican is one of the other things you start with for research. So yeah, there's kind of different ways you can go for how you start. In our case, since we're in the temperate forest, there is a ridiculous amount of wood available to us. So kind of the easiest thing to do is to start off with a, where is it at? A wood-filled generator. We don't have enough steel to make that though, so maybe we won't do that. Because we also don't have a good digger to go dig more steel for ourselves. That's going to be actually pretty annoying. Alright, what we're going to do instead, we're going to go to temperature. We're going to make a campfire. Also, we want to tell them to hold the door open. So they don't have to open the door every time they go through it, because it just takes more time. But also, we're gonna make a campfire. The campfire is gonna generate heat, but we need the campfire to cook food. Yeah, I need to give these people more stuff to do while they're still awake. So we are going to chop some more wood. And we are also going to create a fence here. This fence is gonna use up some wood, but it's not a lot of wood. It's only one wood per square for this fence. So we want to try to tame some animals. These guys are very good to tame. Alpacas are very good to tame, so that they generate wool for us to harvest later, and we can either sell the wool directly to other people, or we can use it to make clothes and stuff. We need to put a fence gate on here so that our people can lead the animals into the fence. So yeah. Yeah, for cooking food, we are going to want to... Yeah, it'd be really nice if we had the steel. Gonna see where's the nearest steel that we can mine. There's a bunch of steel down here. That's probably the best. There's some right here also. Yeah, I think this is a little bit closer. We'll probably want... Let's put another door on our building here so that people can get this direction a little bit faster. And then, yeah, they'll, we'll just mine some steel. It'll take some time, but it'll happen eventually. Let's see. So this guy is good at what? Let's get rid of the grow on these guys. We don't need that anymore. Only our guy that's good at growing will do the growing. Or the plant cutting. The tree cutting. Let's see. So this guy's our best hunter. Trying to think. This guy's gonna be our miner. This guy's gonna be our hunter / constructor. Yeah, we'll do it this way. So this guy's gonna be mining. This guy's gonna be constructing. This guy's gonna be growing / chopping trees. As far as this early game stuff goes, so we're gonna get some steel so that we can build the wood-fired generator, and then the electric stove and some other stuff that uses electricity, like a lamp. They're happier when they're not in the dark. You can also build a torch lamp, but we're not going to be inside for a little bit here. So yeah, the constructing guy's gonna finish doing this stuff. The plant guy's gonna continue chopping some trees down, and then the other guy should be doing some mining here once they wake up in the morning. So speed up time a bit. They should be getting up sometime soon. There we go. Who's also our animal tamer? Alright, we have 2 animal taming people. They both have the same skill at taming animals. So either of them will have pretty decent chances to tame these guys. So that'll be good. Now, if we were to tame these guys right now, we don't have a spot to put them in. Forgot, we also need to put the pen marker here. So this just tells the game put animals that we've tamed in this area. But you can also use the caravan hitching spot. If you don't have a working pen, your people will just tie your animals to the caravan hitching spot, and then the animals can't wander very far, but it'll be fine for now, basically. Now, as far as how you tame the animals will eat food, so they'll probably feed the animals the berries here. You generally don't want your people feeding animal meals, since you took time to do that. Let's see what it says, what the taming chance of success is if these guys fail. 30% chance, and this guy tamed one. So now we have one muffalo. Like a buffalo, but it's like all shaggy. Alright, we have two muffalos. Now these guys have fairly high taming skills. So usually it'll take multiple attempts to get some animals. But these guys both have 12 taming skills. Your skills go from 0 up to 20. But as far as early game goes, usually you're happy at around like an 8 or so on any skill. 8 is pretty decent. So to have 12 taming skill on 2 guys this early in the game is really great for this. Now the animals, once we get this pen belt, they'll be eating all this grass that grows here. We will see how once this pen thing gets complete, the game will tell us how much your animals are eating compared to how much grows in the area, so we'll know if we need to expand the pen at all. Meanwhile, this guy's been digging at steel. I think we're gonna need a little bit more than that. So let's get, say, that much. And you can also feed animals. Like I said, you can feed them meals and stuff. So some areas of the game, there isn't much grass growth, or it won't grow at all when the temperature is below freezing. So sometimes you do have to feed the animals food that you've grown yourself. Since we're in an area that starts with so much wood, it's fairly easy to just expand the size of your pen if you need to. I also want to see on our animals, yeah, we got a male and a female here, so they will breed with each other. I said earlier that your people can't make babies to increase the size of your colony without the DLC, but the animals will breed, and yeah. I'm gonna build for now. Production. No, it's under temperature. Campfire. Just so that our guys stop eating our meals, which we are running kind of low on. Our survival meals. We want them to just eat some simple meals. So we're going to get set up to cook some of these things. We should also build some furniture here. People are happier when they eat at a table. So the smallest table you can make is this 1x2 table. So let's just put this over here. And we can make a couple stools so that they can sit at the table, and also a stool so that the person working at the campfire can sit on the stool. There's a if you look at the needs of a person, they need food, they need sleep. So these sort of things determine kind of what they do. And comfort is something that they need some amount of. So a stool doesn't give much comfort, but it's definitely better than nothing. They get comfort when they sleep, but if you make a bed instead of a sleeping bag, they'll be more comfortable. So we can work on that in a bit. We've got plenty of them for them to do right now, I think, though. This guy's just going on a walk for some recreation here. You see the green arrow means that his recreation is increased. They aren't happy working 24/7, so we can also build ourselves a little wooden horseshoe thing here, so they will play horseshoes when they get bored. Can build some other stuff, but it'll some of the more advanced things take a lot longer to build, which is really bad in this current situation we have where nobody's actually good at constructing. So yeah, he keeps botching construction. So yeah, it's going to it'll take too long to actually build anything too advanced right now. Same thing with you can build dining chairs. The dining chair is, well, none of our people are even good enough to build a dining chair because it requires 4 construction, but the dining chair takes like 5 times as long to build as a wooden stool, so it's like, actually, it might be more than 5 times as long. It's a lot longer than building a wooden stool. So we're trying to get set up with the basics quickly. So yeah, we can't spend too much time on the niceties. So yeah, we have 500 wood, 400 steel. We can, they haven't even built this campfire yet. I'm actually just going to deconstruct that. We've already got the steel that we need because he spent so much time on building the fence. We've got the steel that we need to just go straight to the what's it called? The wood-fired generator. Oh. We need construction skill 4 to make that happen anyways. Guess that's not happening. Yeah. In that case, back to the campfire. Campfire and a stool. That sucks. Let's go through each of these again. Okay, this guy has 0 construction. This guy has 1 construction. Our plant guy has 2 construction. I don't really have anything for the plant guy to do though right now. He's well, he'll work on construction anyways after he's done all the plant stuff. We really want to shift right click will decrease the priority of these activities for all these guys. So we want to just make sure that the plant guy will help on construction. Since the plant guy is closest to level 4 in construction, that'll be what he does if we get to that point. We could add another plant zone if we want. I'm considering doing that right now. But really our priority is really going to be food in the very short term. You can see we're almost out of survival meals already. We're going to actually have to do some hunting, I think, to get the food we need. So As far as hunting goes, we're gonna need some stockpile zones. So when you hunt, you need a spot for the person to carry the dead animal's body back to. So otherwise they just leave the animal's dead body on the ground, and then your cook person will walk all the way out to the body and bring it back. So yeah, generally you want to put some kind of zone for where you want them to deposit dead animal bodies. Let's say right here near the fire. But also what we need is a butcher spot. So this is where they're gonna cook the meat, but you have to first chop the animals up into meat. So we also need a production. We need either a butcher spot or a butcher table. Luckily we can build a butcher table because we have plenty of wood available, and we're just gonna want to put a stool there. So they will. We could even move this area here. We could like expand it like this, and then just shrink this area down here. So we want them to bring the animals to this spot next to the butcher's table so that they'll cut the animal up into meat, and then they'll cook the meat at the fire down here. So I'm just gonna rename this spot animal bodies. This storage zone or whatever they call it. And we need to specifically clear all this stuff, and we need to go down here to corpses, animal corpses, and we're just gonna check all animal corpses. There's gonna be later in the game, you don't really want to cook insect meat. So you don't really want insect corpses, but we won't see insects for a while, so you can just leave it on all animal corpses at this point in time. So yeah, but then once they chop up the meat, well, if we leave things as they are, they will carry the meat into here, and then yeah, this is usually stuff that you want to do indoors, but like I said, the campfire will generate heat. So usually the campfire is that's like usually a good thing in some areas. Like if you start in a colder area. But here it'll just make inside too hot when people are trying to sleep. So yeah, we're not gonna do that yet. Now for them to actually cut up animals, we gotta create a bill to do that. So we're just gonna say butcher creature, and we're just gonna do forever. So they will cut up any dead animal that we have. They will even if something kills this animal out here, it'll by default be like disallowed. It'll have that little X, but you can go click on it and hit the F key to allow it, and then your person will run all the way out there to grab the corpse and butcher it directly. But if you just allow it, that'll just have somebody, and it's not ready to be butchered. Basically, somebody will just haul it back to here. So like I said earlier, if you have somebody who can't do dumb labor, they won't haul. But yeah, otherwise only the person cooking will cooking affects their butchering. So yeah, we don't have anyone very good at cooking, so it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, so this pen is now complete. So you can see here in this area, there's 6.51 nutrition's worth of grass for the animals to eat. That's like the rate at which it's growing. And then our animals are consuming 2.03 nutrition per day. I think it's per day. So so that's good until we get more animals. So if we tame more animals and then they start having babies and stuff, then this area will be too small. But for now, this area is plenty big enough for what we got. Since this guy's right here, I think we want to start doing some hunting. And how many hunters we got? We got 2 hunters. Also, the guy that we had on mining is done doing all the mining that we wanted to for now. So what can we have him do? We can add him to hunting, but he's just not going to be very good at hunting. He's going to miss a lot. So it's not... I'm trying to think, what are we going to have him do? We could put him on research. What do we want to research this early, though? We could definitely research some bow stuff to get better bows. We can already create a short bow. You create a short bow if you just go to production, crafting spot. You put down a crafting spot, you select the crafting spot, you go to bills, add a bill, and so we can make a short bow or some of these other items if we wanted to, but short bow's not very good. We'd definitely prefer to get better bows, or we can look at some of the other things on here. But so if you were in a different biome, for example, where you didn't have all these trees and stuff, you'd definitely consider doing certain things to researching certain things early. Have a good shot at survival. But we're not really in that desperate of a situation. But I think we'll get some bows anyways. But first we gotta build that research bench. So yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't have the steel earlier for it, but now we do. We're gonna build another stool here, and we're also gonna build a... So a lot of things, you'll see the work speed is slower when it's outside. So a lot of things you want to do inside. So that's why we're putting this in here. But we need some lighting so that people can do it right. So I need furniture, a torch lamp. There we go. And then it won't be in the dark. This guy's shooting it. This raccoon. He might accidentally shoot one of our animals. The game's coding's kind of dumb as far as that's concerned. So... Or he might have been shooting at this guy. Either way. I don't want him shooting our animals. Let's see, this guy's pretty bad at shooting. Oh my god. So, yeah, that... Uh, so, hunting comes as a combination of your shooting skill and your animal skill. So sometimes you'll have somebody who's really good at shooting and animals, but usually you got one who's like only good at shooting or only at animals. So, uh, it's this thing can be kind of misleading because of that. So Marco's terrible at shooting, but good with animals. So he's not really ideal as a hunter, but it's alright. The other thing is, all our guys are using pistols, which if you go to here, go to the gear tab, go to the thing, you can see the pistol's accuracy at longer ranges is really bad. That's where the bow upgrade stuff that I was talking about will help a lot. Once you get to the great bow has very good accuracy at the farther distances, because your guys always tend to by default they will hunt at maximum range. You can manually draft them to run them in closer so that they'll have a better accuracy, but by default they shoot at maximum range. So we can go like here, for example, and then we use just the B button, and that'll he'll have much better accuracy here than at his default hunting range. So that's by drafting them to manually tell them what to shoot. So then you just undraft them, and now he goes back to what he was doing. So drafting is like the manual control mode, but it's mainly for combat. If you want somebody to just do something, you can like right click on something that you want them to do and just tell them to do that immediately, like prioritize it. I forgot to actually, we can deconstruct this. So now these guys can roam the entire square instead of being stuck to that spot, and they're already making babies. Yeah, so we got this guy will be cooking at some point, or sorry, cutting up the thing at some point. And then we also need to tell them to cook simple meals. So you can cook one at a time, or you can cook 4 at a time. So generally you want to cook 4 at a time. But sometimes you don't have enough meat left for 4 at a time, but you want to use up that meat before the meat rots. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna tell them cook simple meal forever. We're gonna want to change that later on, but for now it's just gonna be cook simple meal times 4 forever, and then we're just gonna cook simple meal forever. So that'll use up all our ingredients. Now by default that will also cook up the berries and fruit that our people were using to try to tame these other animals. So we're not going to want to do that right now. So we want to change these here. We go in the details, and we're going to uncheck these fruits so that they don't that they will not cook those up. We can also uncheck them here on this one. And I forgot to mention also, the map starts you off with not only trees but other things that you can harvest. So berry bushes is one of them. So we can harvest these berries with our plant guy, and that'll add more berries to our storehouse. So you can, your people can eat berries raw. There's still a chance of food poisoning. Oops, something killed this fox over here, so we want them to grab that and chop that up for meat. You also get like leather and stuff out of animals that you chop up at the butcher spot. But yeah, berries are good. They can be eaten, or they can, like I said, be cooked into simple meals or fed to animals when you're trying to tame them. So if you have a bunch of nearby berry bushes that are like ready to harvest, that's great. You can also harvest not only the berry bushes but your stuff that you grow. I think it's at 66% of complete growth. You can harvest it early and just get a you get like a proportional fraction of the amount. So it's generally fine to harvest early. So if we were to get desperate, we would harvest the rice plants early instead of waiting them to get to 100% growth. So yeah, for now this guy is chopping up the ram. And like I said, yeah, he's carrying the meat into here. We could put a stockpile of meat out here so that they just drop the meat off here, and then it's like a shorter distance travel for cooking the meat. So that's definitely an option, and that's something I think I'm going to do right now. So I'll also we'll also want to just bring the rice here, and then, well, the thing is, so we're gonna get some amount of rice, but you only get that rice every 6 days or so, like I said. So the problem is going to be that we're gonna have a whole bunch of rice. If we cook it up right away, the simple meal expires after, I think, 3 days or so. So if you immediately cook all your rice into simple meals, your meals are going to expire before your next batch of rice is available. So you don't actually want to cook all the rice instantly. The rice will store for like 15 days or something if you store it inside, where it's not going to like deteriorate, or if it's like also, a lot of food will it'll go rotten a lot slower in colder temperatures, or if it's below freezing, it'll freeze indefinitely. So it's so yeah, we kind of do want to store the rice inside and not cook it all up really quickly. So that's why I was saying we don't really want to do this forever. We really only want to cook simple meals when we need to cook simple meals, basically. But let's make a zone here, a stockpile zone, and we will store the meat outside here near the campfire, because we basically do want to cook the meat up right away. Because the meat goes bad after like 2 days. So let me set the settings up for this. I'm gonna call this meat storage, and we're gonna clear all this stuff. Forgot you also want to change the priority here in general on things that you're making for a specific thing. Your people will carry stuff to the highest priority zone, but if there's multiple that are the highest priorities, then they go to the nearest one. So we are going to want them to put meat. Where's meat? Foods, raw food, meat is gonna get put in this zone. Now, there is potential, like I said earlier, you don't really want to cook insect meat. You also don't want to cook human meat. So you don't really want to store them here either. But not something to terribly worry about at this point in the game. So, yeah, we've got a guy researching bows so that we can get better results as far as hunting goes. We got the guy harvesting berries. Just the nearby ones. There's definitely ones farther away on the map that are probably not as worth running to at this point. Like if you find like an individual berry bush way out somewhere, it's generally not worth the time it takes for your character to walk all the way out there and do it. And also, these things will give you herbal medicine, so we're gonna want to get these. It's just less important at the moment, but long term, you do want to get all these herbal medicine ones. So, yeah. Now we have some meals cooked up. Yeah. So, the first animal that we cut up, it gave us 72 meat, so he used 40 meat for the ×4 meals, and now he's using 10 meat at a time for the individual meals, one at a time. The 40 meat one, the 4 meals at a time, that takes a lot longer to cook. I don't know if it's 4 times longer or not, though. I'm not sure if it tells you. 20 work to 5 work, yeah. So it takes 4 times as long to cook the 4 meals. But the travel time of going back and forth to cook 1 meal at a time makes it a lot slower. Marco's no longer doing the work frenzy thing. Unfortunate. What's he doing right now? Wait. Marco is... Okay, Marco's the plant guy. For some reason I thought his plant skill was higher. But yeah. Now, one of the things that you do run into a lot in the temperate forest environment is fires. So you'll get lightning storms that will start fires. So later, we're gonna ultimately want to make all our buildings out of stone instead of wood. And these wood fences will be fairly susceptible to the fires, but it takes too long to it's not too long. Like later in the game you can do it, is make the fences out of stone also, but or you can make them out of steel, but steel still has some amount of flammability. It's less flammable than wood, but it still can burn. So, yeah, you want to make stuff out of stone later on. But for now, that stuff takes too long. It takes a lot longer for people to build things out of stone than out of wood. It's like 5 times as long or something. So we're sticking to wood for now, but we're going to want to change that later. But the kind of the primary thing we can do now to make this less vulnerable to fires is just chop up all the trees that are near it, so that if a fire spreads to here, then there won't be stuff to continue it to spread into our animal pen. So that's something that we're going to want to do in a bit here, when our people are slightly less busy. So I'm trying to see here, what are people working on? We got one guy's been doing cooking. We still have some food to try to tame these guys. But we already have a male and a female, so it's not as important to tame more guys right now. We'll naturally get more over time anyways. But yeah, we just really want to settle the food situation soon. We can also start building some more food areas just to be more safe in case of certain things happen. Like sometimes your fields will randomly get infected by blight and you have to cut a bunch of the plants down. You can't harvest them for food, so you can go from having a bunch of food that you're about to have to suddenly having zero food because of that. So something to watch out for. So yeah, so you see the simple meal expires in about 4 days after you cook it. So yeah, you can actually click on the simple meal, go here to the nutrition. You see the nutrition of a simple meal is 0.9, whereas it takes 10 of the 0.05 nutrition each. So you're actually, when you cook it, you're actually turning 0.5 nutrition into 0.9 nutrition. So like I said earlier, it's the same sort of thing happens with the rice. So that's why this amount of rice will be fine for 3 people. But we want to kind of look towards expanding in the future type of thing. So we'll create another food growing zone here. You can just expand this one, but then it becomes more of a hassle if you want to put different crops in the same area, because then you got to split it again. So I like having just a good sized chunk and then create a separate good sized chunk. And then you can change the plants that are going to be in it if you want, at any time, or you can just have them be the same plant. So yeah. We also want to try to not eat any more of our packaged survival meals. We've kind of eaten most of them already, but we'd like to stop doing that. So what we're going to go here is we're going to go to Assign and Food Restriction, and we're going to change these to Simple. So that means they only eat simple meals, I think. But we're going to edit the meal restrictions here just to double check that, and that doesn't seem to be the case. So they'll eat nutrient paste meals or simple meals, that's fine, but they will also eat all this raw food stuff. We don't really want them eating raw food. They won't eat raw food unless you're out of simple meals, but sometimes you run out of simple meals like temporarily, and you'd rather them be hungry for a few hours while you get more simple meals cooked up than jumping straight into eating raw meat and stuff. So we're gonna turn off eating raw food, and we're gonna turn off eating all this other stuff. And we're gonna turn off that stuff. Yeah, we don't want any of that. We don't want them eating raw plants. And we don't want them eating raw corpses. So now they should be completely stopping eating the packaged survival meals. If they get to the point of starvation, they might eat the packaged survival meals anyways, but generally they should not eat the packaged survival meals any longer. So let's fast forward again. Get to the point where they wake up. Well, actually, I need to figure out what am I doing with these people. So, all right, this guy's researching. He's the mining guy. His other skills are pretty much useless right now anyways, so that's fine. We're just gonna research to get those bows so that we can hunt a little bit better. Let's see, what else do we got that we can hunt around here? There's extra gazelles. You can also get some turkeys. We kind of don't want to waste our people's time running too far. But also, if you shoot animals near the edge of the map, sometimes they run off the map, and then they're just gone. So, yeah. Generally, you want to hunt the things nearby. And, you'll get warnings if you try to hunt certain things, but yeah, the game will also tell you here that, like, if you try to hunt a grizzly bear, 50% of the time when you shoot it, it'll decide to attack you. So that's very dangerous this early in the game. The auto pistols that we started with are fairly accurate, short range. So they're actually very good against animals that rush to you. But when the animal gets in melee range, the game doesn't let you shoot anymore. So you have to melee them, or run away and have other people shoot the animal dead. But that's not very reliable, because then sometimes they miss and shoot your person. So so yeah, it's it can be very dangerous, upsetting certain animals early on in the game. Oh yeah, so like I was saying earlier, since the package, or sorry, the simple meal expires after 4 days, right? And it gives 0.9 nutrition, but your people eat 1.6 nutrition per day. So in 4 days, each person eats, let's do some math here, 6.4 nutrition. Which means for your simple survival meal, that's gonna be approximately 10 simple meals in the course of that 4 days. So since we have 3 people, basically our simple meals are going to be rotting if we cook more than 30 simple meals at a time. For sure. But since things don't work out perfectly, we want to limit how many simple meals that we cook at any given time to by doing this, do until you have here. So we're gonna say stop cooking simple meals at let's just leave it at 10 meals. That'll be fine. And we're gonna do that here for the single meals. So once we have 10 simple meals, our people will just stop cooking the simple meals. And then we want to do a similar thing for butchering here. So when you kill an animal, the animal's body will rot after, I think, 2 days or so. So if we cook all that, if we cut up all that meat right away, but then our people are only able to cook the meat into simple meals at a certain rate, then we don't want too much meat at any one time because the meat will rot. So, so we gotta figure out how much meat are they actually going to cook into simple meals at a time, which is gonna be somewhere around let's see, so per day it's gonna be around 4.8 nutrition per day for 3 people, which is going to be about 5 simple meals, a little more than 5 simple meals, which is going to be let's see, that's going to be 50 meat per day, and since the meat rots after 2 days, maximum we would want 100 meat at any given time. But it's better safe. It's like safer to basically not go above 50 meat, I would say. We want it to be at least 40 meat so that so that they cook the 4 meals at a time when they can. Oh, also they'll go above, I forgot to mention. So if you're at 9 out of 10 meals, they will cook the 4 simple meals, and then you'll be at 13 out of 10. They don't decide to just do the simple meal, the single one, just because you're 1 from the maximum type of thing. So they will go over the maximum. So you could lower this to out of 7, so that when there's 6, then they'll add 4 and it'll go to 10, and that's a way you could cap it at exactly 10 if you wanted to. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna set the meat here. So we're gonna butcher until you have a certain amount of meat. So how much meat do we want? Yeah, we'll put it at 50, like I was saying. We want at least 40. Well, actually, we're going to put it at 40. The reason we're going to put it at 40 is, so we're at 40 meat, and we kill a ram. The ram gives us 72 meat. So we've gone from 40 meat, we went to like 39 meat or whatever, to suddenly over 100 meat. But like I said, 100 meat's kind of the maximum that we can cook into meals per day and then like eat those meals. So we don't really want a ton of meat. Actually, we're gonna change this. We're actually gonna bring this down to 20 meat. We're gonna say 20 meat. Yeah. Because if we hunt a big creature, then it's gonna be it's gonna give us so much meat that we're not gonna be able to eat it all before it rots, type of thing. So it's gonna be problematic. So let's do that. But let's see what we're gonna actually hunt. And you also so the way we got it up, we're cooking simple meals at a certain rate so that the meals don't rot. We're cutting up animals at a certain rate so that the meat doesn't rot. But we also want to make sure we hunt at a certain rate so that the animal corpses don't rot before they get cut up and cooked. So you have to be careful as far as not hunting too much at a single time, unless you have a way to refrigerate or freeze things so that they don't rot. But since our technology is really bad, because our construction skills really bad, we are kind of stuck with being very limited in what we do for now. So yeah, cooking up more rice here. Once we have both these fields of rice going, we're gonna have a bunch of rice every couple days, basically, and that'll be, like I said, the first field's about all we needed for the 3 people. The second field's gonna be way overkill, but if we get more people joining the colony, then we'll be fine. Let's get some more berries over here since they're kind of clumped up, so that we can try to continue getting these muffalos. We don't really need them at the moment, but that's fine. Our building's getting a little cramped right now, so we also need to kind of figure out how we're going to expand our base. So particularly the storage of stuff is becoming a little bit of a pain. So we kind of want to separate this from our sleeping area and from our work area. Well, some things that you work on, you'll need to go into the storage to get it. So it'll be you want to have some things close, like how we're depositing the meals into the storage area after they're cooked. So lots of things to consider as far as how you build your base, but ultimately it is up to you. But yeah, I'm gonna make a separate area, and then we're gonna also put in some shelves. So we have stuff just in spots on the ground here. Shelves let you stack things on top of each other, so it's much more space efficient than just putting stuff on the ground like this. So that's what we're gonna do here next. As far as let's see what this guy's unhappy about. Awful barracks, minor pain. Tried to do some romance stuff and it didn't work out. Slept in the cold. I don't know exactly what temperature they consider cold, but you see outdoors right now is 56 degrees. So that's kind of on the chilly side, and it'll be colder at night. So we might actually want a campfire inside our sleeping area after all for now. So the game kind of starts you off generally in like the summer kind of season. Now they call this permanent summer, but still based on where you're at in the world, like if you're more towards the north or the south pole, will still affect which season is the coldest and which one's the warmest. So I forgot to mention, so the year is built up into what they call quadrums, which are basically just seasons, which are 15 days each. So I think we're in the first season still. They started us off in what they call April, May, which is kind of the spring season, generally in the northern hemisphere. I'm not sure if we're actually in the northern hemisphere. It's pretty close. We might be in the southern hemisphere. We're pretty much near the middle. But yeah, I'm not sure if the weather's getting colder right now or hotter. Hard to say. But the person's complaining about sleeping in the cold, so we do want to try to fix that. The torch does create a little bit of heat, but since we're leaving the door open for just efficiency getting in and out of the place, that heat, that little bit of heat that it does give is pretty much going away quickly. So I'm trying to decide. Oh, we got another muffalo. I'm trying to decide if we put another campfire indoors. Really what I want is to build the wood-fired generator, but we need somebody better at construction to do that. So since no one's interested in construction, they're all gonna get better at construction very slowly. And that's only if you keep them actively constructing things. So we have to either wait for another person to build that wood-fired generator, or we have to give these guys a ton of busy work to do just so that they get good enough at, well, just so at least one of them gets good enough at constructing so that we can get the electricity going. Because once we get the electricity going, then we can build electric heaters instead of using a campfire for heating. So but yeah, for now, let's see, I think we'll build this way on our base here. We'll put another door at the bottom here, and then we're gonna just expand our base this way, and then we'll put the sleeping bags in here. Actually, we can build actual beds at this point, so let's do that. We'll have this be the sleeping area. We'll put a campfire in here. We'll leave this as a storage area, but we'll add some shelves in here in a minute. So yeah, we need to, before I do that, let's put some more doors here. We're gonna hold this door open. We're gonna build doors here and here so they can get out of the sleeping area in different directions. Let's see. We're gonna build a campfire in this sleeping area, which will keep the place warm. Let's see. Oh yeah, so beds, like I said, furniture, beds, where are they at? Beds. We can make a wood bed, and you can also make other material beds later on if you want. But since our area has tons of wood available, we definitely just want to make a wood bed. And like I mentioned earlier, wood beds are building things out of wood is very fast compared to building them out of stone or other materials. So yeah, we're sticking with that. And yeah, so you can see, you can watch their progress towards the next levels of construction, but it's yeah, it's pretty slow when they have no interest in it. It's 35% learning speed, like I said, very slow. You can also get people with a slow learner trait, and then they are slow at everything, not just the things they aren't interested in. They're still slow at learning even the things they are interested in, and it really sucks. So yeah, we can cut these chunks up into bricks, but we don't really need bricks right now, so we're gonna just put here a zone, a dumping stockpile zone out here. And by default, the dumping stockpile zone will be bricks and dead bodies. But we don't want them putting the animal corpses over here, because we want the animal corpses by the butcher table, so we want to uncheck that part. They'll still put dead people over here, though, if we get some dead people. Like if we have to kill people that attack us. So yeah, we want to get all these chunks hauled to the nearest spot there, and then this other one. You can click on the same square multiple times to get to things that are underneath other things, or you can also hit the down arrow here. There's also a hotkey that you can do for that. But basically we want to get down to this slate chunk here so we can pull it out of here. Alright, our research is coming along. We are close to that recurve bow. Not super close, but you know, we're getting there to the recurve bow, and then we'll probably make the recurve bows. We'll make 2 recurve bows for our hunter guys, I guess. The grizzly bear is attacking our muffalo. We want to try to not let it kill our muffalo, so we are the grizzly bear is probably going to attack us. He might kill our muffalo before we even get there. But yeah, we selected all our dudes. We drafted them. All right, now he's going to attack us. Let's get this guy closer. This could be bad. So now they are like melee attacking the grizzly bear. We want to get this guy close enough that his miss chance will be very low. You'd move this guy farther out so that he shoots. Oh, so all right. So the grizzly bear's dead. We paused it. Our muffalo is dying. Our muffalo is going to bleed out in 6 hours, and our dude here is going to bleed out in 15 hours. So, if we turn off the drafting, we undraft people. The injured people generally go straight to bed because they are a patient. So then our doctor person will be able to heal them. We have 2 doctor people. People won't use medicine to heal themselves unless you go to the health tab here and you click self-tend, but you have a penalty on healing yourself, so it's better if you have somebody else heal you. Unless you have nobody else who's good at being a doctor, then you can have the doctor heal themselves. Alright, so yeah. So yeah, this guy is going to automatically go to healing our muffalo. So that's a good thing. but you need... He's going to use medicine for each injury, essentially. So he's going to need multiple medicines, because the grizzly bear got multiple hits in. So... he's going to try to find... So the Muffalo is allowed herbal medicine or worse. You can change that so that they use the regular medicine you have stockpiled. Otherwise, our guy's going to go look for any herbal medicine that we have to treat the remaining wounds. And then what you saw was he actually grabbed one that was harvested on the ground, that was still on the ground, that hadn't been hauled back to our stockpile yet. So if there's any other ones still on the ground somewhere, he'll also go to get those. But that will potentially increase travel time a lot. And the traveling back and forth for these sort of things, when the animal's going to die in 6 hours, it can take a lot of time. Whereas you want to try to get them to stop the bleeding as quickly as possible. So sometimes it's better to turn off medicine usage and just get them to stop the bleeding as quickly as possible. It won't treat the wound nearly as effectively, but it'll be good for preventing people from dying that would otherwise bleed out before you get the medicine to them. Like I said, this guy's gonna die in 15 hours if he doesn't get healed, but that's... He'll be fine. We want him to get the... Obviously, this guy is more important than the Muffalo, but this guy's not in a serious risk of dying soon. We'll have him leave the door open, so just running out here on the way back is a little bit faster. Alright, so yeah, this guy's gonna be in bed for... So, as a patient, if they have active injuries that aren't, that haven't been treated yet, then they're gonna be in bed as a patient. After these injuries get treated, you can decide whether or not you want them to stay in bed rest. That means they stay in bed until they are fully healed. Or you can remove the priority of the bed rest so that they will go back to work before they are fully healed. So they'll heal faster while they're in bed. But then they're literally not doing anything. So if you need certain things to be done, sometimes you don't want them to do bed rest. So we'll have to see, because we only have 3 people. He's our only cook also. So once we're out of simple meals, we're gonna have to have him cook more, probably. I mean, yeah. The other people have 0 and 1 cooking skill. Alright, how's the Muffalo doing? Alright. Now he's bleeding at a rate of death in 12 hours. And death in 16 hours. We just need a couple more band-aids and then he won't be bleeding anymore. And I think he'll still put a separate band-aid on this one, the jaw. But yeah, 2... maybe 3 more band-aids still. And then we'll tend to this guy. Now, he's slowly losing blood. So they die at a certain point of extreme blood loss. So it's not ideal that that guy's still bleeding over there. Actually, yeah. the muffalo started moving and it canceled the treatment of the muffalo. Got out of range. But yeah, I was about to have this guy manually tend to this guy anyways, because the muffalo's no longer in immediate threat of dying. But yeah, we'll be good. Where's our other guy at? Just grabbing more herbs and stuff. Harvesting berries, yep. Might as well harvest this while he's out here. This one. He's probably gonna go to bed soon though. And get those too. Yeah, lots of medicine. And also, so the bear, if the animal dies in what is called the home area, it will automatically be allowed, but otherwise it will not be allowed. So you got to manually allow your person to bring it over here and chop it up and stuff. So yeah, I just realized I should probably make a fueled stove. So the campfire does cook food, but it's slower. It's 50% cook speed compared to an actual stove. So we want to make the electric stove later on, but we still don't have the construction skill to do that or create the electricity thing. So the generator. So if we make a fueled stove for now, this will consume wood, but it'll let people cook our food faster than the campfire, so that they can get on to doing other things faster. So it's still, I'd say it's still a good investment in this situation. So let's do that. Did this guy finish attending to this guy? Okay. Sometimes your dudes just get tired and go to bed even though somebody's still bleeding out. So you gotta be careful and double check those sort of things. Oh, this guy is... Let's go to a sign here. We're gonna say no drugs. But we got a bio. This guy has chemical interest. So yeah, he's gonna use drugs anyways. So he has this wake up addiction. He's addicted to this drug that it keeps you awake longer, which is kind of useful sometimes for so that your people don't need to sleep at certain emergency situations, but generally drug addictions are not good. So he's gonna use these drugs even though we told him not to. Marco's still out here harvesting? Apparently so. It's getting kind of late, Marco. You can also adjust their schedules here. So we can say go to bed a couple hours earlier, and then they will wake up a little bit earlier, and that'll be good. Also in the morning they tend to wake up when their sleep bar gets to maximum. So if they go to bed and they're not tired enough that they need to sleep the full amount, then they get up in the morning earlier than their wake up time on here, basically. Sometimes they'll also sleep in, they'll sleep in more than you want them to. So the sleep thing on here isn't like set in stone or whatever. They don't follow it super closely. Also, sometimes they're in the middle of something. They don't cancel it. They don't cancel what they're doing as soon as like the clock hits the time, type of thing. But also, if they're like out here mining or something, not only could they take like an hour finishing the one block that they're mining on, but also walking back here can take a little bit of time also, which it'll change in different environments. Like they'll walk slower if the ground is covered in snow, stuff like that. So lots of little different things. So ultimately the schedule is not super reliable as far as the times goes. But that's how it is. Anyways, let's speed up time again. It's just morning, and let's try to make sure people are being whatchamacallit, keeping busy. So our injured guy is so you see it gets pretty light out here at 5 in the morning. So that's why if you have people go to bed earlier, then they'll be out here more in the light than at night. Because there's lots of things where people do things a little bit faster in the light than in the dark. The dark, they get like a 20% penalty or something. So, yeah. Alright, so let's see. This guy, he doesn't need sleep. He's not even sleeping right now, but he's just in bed rest because of the injuries still. Now, he's not very good at moving, but he's still pretty good at most things. So we could deprioritize bed rest so that he does some other stuff. We don't really want him to go hunting, so we'll deprioritize the hunting. So now he'll still cook. We don't need him to try to get the animals, actually. But we want him to cook, and he'll do construction stuff before bed resting. But other stuff he will he'll do bed rest before he tries to go tame more animals or to go hunt animals, basically. Because those things involve a lot more movement, which is he's moving slowly because he's injured. This guy just got food poisoning, it said. There was a little pop-up. So food poisoning is not ideal. People you can read the little things of as far as how it affects people, but yeah, basically food poisoning is not ideal. Ooh, there's a bunch of berries right here I didn't notice. Nice. Alright, yeah. How much wood do we got? Oh, we are out of wood, actually. We have to get more wood. We need more wood to finish the building here. We also want to build some shelves out of wood. And we have to have wood to keep fueling the campfire, or else the campfire will go out. Campfire lasts like 2 days. And then you gotta refill it with some wood. Same with the stove. Stove's gonna be using up wood when we replace that campfire. So yeah, Marco's got the food poisoning, so he's moving slower and he's in pain and stuff. So he's not really gonna be optimal either. We probably shouldn't really hunt anything right now. But we just killed that bear, so we got a good amount of meat. We don't really need to hunt anything right now. So yeah. Things are going okay. Who's gonna craft things though? Alright, Marco will craft things. So Marco's gonna be building us, we need another stool here also. Marco's going to be building us a couple new bows once we get the research done, so that our hunters are slightly better equipped. But yeah, we need wood for the bows also. So wood for the building, wood for the shelves to make our storage area more efficient, and wood for the bows that we're going to make. A digger named Tyke is crashed in a transport pod nearby. If she survives the impact, she will be badly wounded. This type of thing is exactly why you want pause on any letter in the settings, like I mentioned earlier. Pause on letter, any letter. Because this person is going to be injured, and you need to save them, or else they will bleed out really quickly. So if you were like playing at 2 times speed or 3 times speed right now, they'd be bleeding out very quickly, and you'd lose like critical moments that you would need to save them. So very important. All right, so we're gonna click this, jump to location. Luckily they're crashing really nearby. A lot of the times they're like way up at the edge of the map. But in this case, they're crashing right here. And we are gonna want this guy, because the other guys are slower right now. We're gonna want this guy to rescue this person. I'm just gonna right click rescue. To be able to rescue, you have to have a bed to put them in. It doesn't have to be an actual bed, it could be a sleeping bag that's available. Or it could even be, if you have nothing, you can go in here and create furniture, sleeping spot, and it'll just be a sleeping spot on the ground that doesn't actually get constructed. It's just more like a marker of where to put people. But we have actual beds, so this guy's gonna go rescue them to a bed, see what their injuries are. Oh, they're not even bleeding, so that's a good thing. They are definitely going to need some medicine though, and it'll be a little bit before they get healed up, but I'm glad it's not any kind of life-threatening thing here. We want to actually deconstruct this. This guy's about to refill the campfire, but we're replacing that campfire with the fueled stove, so we don't want him doing that. I just used wood over here. Actually, we don't want to deconstruct this yet. We're going to want to copy these into the fueled stove. So that's very It's a real nice feature that you can just copy the little work order things to the other spot. Yeah, by default, when you pick people up like this, they will go for the herbal medicine by default. You can change that if you want them to use the good medicine. But we are pretty limited on the good medicine for quite a while. Over time, you can buy more, or you can research to the point that you can create more yourself out of herbal medicine and a couple other ingredients. But yeah, for now, we'll be happy with the herbal medicine. Marco's moving pretty slow. The food poisoning's kind of ramped up. So he might even have to get rescued himself, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. All right, the guy we rescue decided to leave. So that's kind of annoying. He doesn't want to stay with us. I was kind of expecting he would join our little colony here, but yeah, they don't necessarily, even though you rescued them, they don't necessarily do that, so kind of annoying. You can like try to capture them, essentially take them as prisoner and then convert them, but we don't have an actual prisoner area set up. We'd have to build another, we'd have to build like a prison section of the building, basically. And we need somebody to get some more wood out here, really. So Marco's our primary guy for that. And since I unchecked these earlier for the other guys, he's the only guy for that at the moment. But our other guys are doing stuff also anyways, so it's not like it's not critical that we could manually, we could change it so that these other guys will cut down trees, but we'll just leave Marco as it for now. So speed up time a bit. We want to keep an eye on things to make sure nothing terrible happens. But yeah, we need wood for this stove here. We also need to reinstall this stool here. The stove got built, that's nice. So we can copy this, paste, copy this, paste, and now we don't need this campfire anymore, so now we can deconstruct it. Ooh. Marco is very unhappy. Yeah, he's hungry, but he's also in pain, and it's basically all due to the food poisoning, so he might freak out at some point. Yeah, don't worry about it. So yeah, we gave our faction a name earlier. Now this is asking to just name this settlement, this specific colony. So yeah, you can call it whatever you want. Finish the research for the recurve bow. We're gonna research the great bow next. And Marco's finally going to eat, but he's going to eat real slow. Like you can see here, he's going to eat at 10% speed because of the food poisoning and other factors that are related and not related. So it's going to take him a very long time to eat this food. And kind of annoying because he's like, the eating food doesn't like slowly increase the bar. It's like it waits till he's done eating food and then it gives him the food. So he's very unhappy the whole time that he's eating this because he's hungry the whole time that he's eating this. So it's possible sometimes that mid doing something that would make him happier, he freaks out. And yeah, so that's what this break risk stuff is they kind of when they have a mental break, they just kind of freak out and you lose control of the characters and they do whatever they want basically, which is like never what you want them to do. Sometimes they eat a lot, sometimes they just start randomly destroying things. So it's yeah. You don't want your people having a mental break, so you want them to be happy. Alright. He's on the recovery from the food poisoning now, at least. So this guy's just... So this guy's hauling right now. So moving stuff around is just hauling. So he moved all those rocks out of there. And then also he's gonna run around collecting all the berries and shit that the other guy harvested. But as far as the work stuff goes, for Kazuya, yeah. So he's gonna haul, and then he's gonna clean. And then, if there's no cleaning to be done, then he'll be out of things to do. So we might have to figure out more things for this guy to do to keep him busy. Marco's, since he's feeling better and he's starting to cut trees here, that'll be good. Is Kazuya the cook? No, Rink is the cook. So once we get this wood here, they're gonna use it to fill the field stove, and then they'll start cooking more food with the meat that's here. But that's gonna be done by Rink. But what that'll mean is Kazuya will end up on research. So we don't really need to... We aren't gonna have to give Kazuya extra stuff to do. He'll start doing stuff in a minute. Wait, who's our constructors? Okay, everybody's a constructor, but we don't really want Marco constructing anymore. Shit. They're all terrible at constructing, I forgot. Alright. Let's put... Alright. We'll have Rink be the main constructor and the cook, and then Kazuya will be more the research guy. Alright, so we're back to cooking food. What's Marco up to? Oh yeah, trying to tame animals still. He's using the berries there. Got another muffalo. So that's all good. We want to get some more wood still. We need to build those shelves, so hopefully Marco will get back to getting wood. Okay. Some sheep just randomly arrived and they are deciding of their own accord that they are part of our colony, so that's interesting. Actually, a lot of berries down here. Let's, there's more up there. Let's harvest all these. So I think someone's gonna have to actually bring the sheep into the pen. So I think that's, yeah, it looks like Marco's gonna do that. And yeah, that guy's relaxing at the moment. Let's see. We've got enough food for another couple days, or a day. We could hunt some more. For example, this raccoon right here. But I really want them to chop down the trees here so that we can create a couple bows so that they can hunt a little bit better first. So, gathering up these sheep. And we can now see here, what do we got? Total nutrition growth of 6.52. Our animals are eating 4.5 nutrition. So our pen is still big enough for this amount of animals. But we're getting close to the point where we're gonna need a bigger pen. Of course, you can just like kill the sheep, for example, if you want to. If you don't want them, you can just slaughter the sheep and turn them into meat, and it's like basically easier than hunting. But we don't really need to do that. All right, this guy keeps running back and forth, hauling. So he's our cook and constructor guy. He doesn't have anything to cook right now, so that's why he's hauling. Well, and nothing to construct. But we want him to construct those shelves I keep talking about. So, let's put in a furniture shelf. There's a 2x1 shelf or a 1x1 shelf. So we'll put a couple 2x1 shelves here. And then, is he going to bed right now? I guess he lost sleep for some reason or other. Okay, we are under attack. So, it's one guy with a knife. So with the starting gear that we have here, with 3 auto pistols, guy with a knife isn't much of a threat. I'm not sure if we can turn this into a prison or not. So, if we beat this guy up without killing him, and then we capture him, we need to have a prison available. But this guy is still in here, so I'm not sure if we can make this a prison. You click a bed where you want a prison and you say, for prisoners. So yeah, that guy won't have a bed anymore, but he doesn't even want to stay with us, so fuck him. We don't want this door held open anymore, otherwise the prisoner will try to escape as soon as he's able to. And yeah, this guy's gonna run at us. We're just gonna let our guys do their thing for the moment while he gets over here. Oh, he's not even attacking right away. Should have read the thing. The letter when you're getting raided will tell you if he's we just ran in and out of this door so that they close the door when they go through it. Yeah. So the letter when you're getting raided tells you if they're attacking right away or not. So I wasn't paying attention to it. Apparently he's not attacking right away. Alright. Now they're beginning their assault. So now we need to actually wake our people up and stop playing at stop the super time speed thing. Just gonna line up our people over here. And yeah. We want him to melee them at this point. So he's taking a few gunshots. If we keep shooting at him, there's a higher chance that he'll be killed. This guy's actually high on go juice. That's interesting. So go juice is like crack or something. It's some kind of drug that makes them feel less pain. So it's harder to capture a guy like this alive, because usually you like down them when they're in too much pain, but when they are on go juice, then usually they end up dying before they are downed. So he's gonna... This might have been a bad idea. He's gonna end up stabbing our people a couple times. Yeah. This is going really badly. Holy shit, this is going badly. Oh my god. I need to turn this guy off of fling and go. I need to turn all these guys off of fling. So I want this guy to get back to bed as soon as possible so that our dude can heal him. He's gonna die in 5 hours, or shorter if he gets stabbed again. Let's move this guy out here. Shoot him. Oh my god. This guy got downed. I might have to... Okay. This guy wants to eat at a time like this? Are you serious? So yeah, that went really badly. I should have just let him keep shooting at him. You got food poisoning now? Are you serious? Rescue this guy. Is Marco a medical guy? No. I have 2 medical guys, but oh my god. Things went really badly. Oh my god. Look how slowly he carries this guy while Marco's bleeding over here. This is not good. Alright. Alright, so he's gonna tend to this guy first. Marco's gonna die sooner though. Yeah. Problem is, this guy's the other doctor, so this guy is... Shit. I'm gonna have to alternate, I think, to save him. I'm gonna get this guy... Actually, I might have to self-tend on this guy. So that this other guy can tend to Marco. Alright. You are going to self-tend. And this guy is going to tend Marco. Because Marco's going to die in 2 hours. Prioritize tending to yourself. Thank you. Meanwhile, Marco, please don't die. The guy doing the tending is injured, so he's not even doing it at optimal efficiency. So yeah, all that went really poorly. Oh, great. He collapsed trying to attend to himself. Hang in there, Marco! Get one more tend on Marco, and then we'll tend Kazuya again. Yeah. The go juice fucked me. Alright. Rescue. Oh, tend to this guy. We'll turn off the self-tend now. Marco's still bleeding a little bit, but this guy's bleeding worse. And he's unconscious. He's unconscious? That's not good. That means this guy's gonna have to self-tend. Oh my god. 4.9% quality off of the best medicine? Well, there's a better medicine out there, but this is the medium medicine. Bear meat rotted away. That sucks. That's because we didn't have oh my god. What is this guy doing? People are dying, dude. Marco's dying slowly. He tended himself. I guess it's not that bad. 83 degrees in this room. Pretty hot. Oh, great. Now we lost control of this guy. Because he's in a bad mood. That's terrible. Because Marco's gonna die in 17 hours. Means this guy's gonna have to... Well, it depends how long he's uncontrollable. But this guy might have to get up and tend to Marco at some point. But he's in terrible shape. We've also got food problems. Alright, Kazu is gonna tend to him. Good. Who did I decrease the bed rest on him before? Okay. I'll increase bed rest again for him. And which guy's the cook? So the guy that's wandering around is the cook. Because we're almost out of simple meals. And we don't already have the meat to make more. There's one out here. So... ideally, Marco would be harvesting the rice right now so that we could cook meals out of rice, but he is not in good shape. At least all the injuries have been tended to. So. Marco is still unconscious or immovable. He can't move. So you can't harvest the rice here. So we need to either hunt or slaughter animals, or we could start cooking up these berries. We tamed almost everything we wanted to tame. There's only one muffalo left to tame. So... and like I said earlier, it's not that important that we tame the muffalos because we already have enough to breed. So that's probably the play, is to cook up berries for simple meals. But yeah, like I keep saying, this guy's the cook. We need him to cook, but I can't control him. Oh, now we can control him. He's done wandering in sadness. Alright, dude. I need to haul a simple meal over here so that it can be eaten. We want to get our gun out of the range so that it We don't got space to even haul other stuff too. God damn it. Anyways, we need to change these things so that he'll cook these berries and fruit up. So that we have more simple meals to feed people. These things are deteriorating a lot in the rain, which is not good. Things are... I mean, we're not going to lose the game, but... Holy shit. One encounter with a guy with a knife went really badly. All because of the go juice that he was on. That was my fault for not anticipating how badly that was going to go, though. Alright, so how are things going? This guy is doing a little bit better. Marco still can't move. His heart got cut with a knife. Damn. Amazing he didn't die. I really want to change these beds. I want them to use these beds instead of here for a couple reasons. First of all, the beds are better than the sleeping bags. But also, this area is such a mess with all the blood that it's better if we get people over here. So we're gonna reassign them to the beds over here. Marco, Kazuya, and Unic or whatever. And they'll carry Marco over, I think. Rescue Marco! There we go. Who's in a bad mood this time? The other guy. So, intense pain, malnourished. Yeah. He's about to eat. The guy started cooking berries like we planned. So, malnourished is a health condition. But if you catch it earlier, it goes away really quickly. But usually you don't want them to get to the point where they're that hungry anyways, because then they're unhappy about being hungry. Nice. He's out to collect more berries that hadn't been brought in yet. Which guy's our constructor? Rennick. Okay. He constructs when he's done cooking. Got it. So yeah. Are you serious? We're getting attacked again? Bro. That's fucked up. Yeah. You might have to use the dude's go juice just to survive. The guy has a club. The club doesn't cause you to bleed out like a knife does, but If they like hit you on the head with the club, they can kill you in one hit with the club. It really, things can go very badly. Other times not as badly, but yeah. I think we're gonna have to get... Oh my god. We need... Alright, Marco, equip the pistol. We need Kazuya to equip the pistol. We don't want to be triple speed. And yeah, things are about to get ugly. Which one of my guys is this the druggy guy? Chemical interest. I'm trying to decide if I want him to be taking the drugs. This guy's not on drugs, though. I think he's going to be a lot easier than the other guy. But our dudes are injured. Yeah, you're not going to eat just yet. Let this guy finish cooking, I suppose. Where's this dude going? Oh, he's gonna walk through the base here, I guess. Oh my... Dude, don't run right in the path of fire. Alright. We killed him. Oh, shit. Alright, so Marco's right eye got crushed. And he got a bruise on his left leg, but other than that... things aren't so bad. These guys are going for a walk. Holy shit. Dude, Marco's eye got crushed. So yeah, sometimes you might want to manually make sure that your doctors get to healing people as quickly as possible. Oh my god, we're almost out of medicine. That's really bad. I think we're gonna have to create a medicine growing zone. You can grow these herbal medicine things, but yeah. This is really not good that Marco is our guy that is super injured, because we really need him to harvest the foods. We do have 12 simple meals, though. That'll last us a few days. See how long it takes for... Damn. Just bad. Very rough start we've got going. Yeah. Very rough start. But, that's a good stopping point for the video here. So, yeah. That's how RimWorld goes sometimes. And we'll continue our adventures here another day.